Empezamos con frijol. Y después con maíz. I'd love to invite everyone into a moment of connection. And we're going to start by taking a deep breath in. I invite us all to take a moment and connect with our center. Feel into the center. Feel into those connections. Feel into the web. In this moment, I invite you to set an intention internally, to share some words, some care, some love. I invite us to imagine our connections becoming alive in this space, moving through us, allowing us to access beyond time and space. 1, 2, 3. And taking another deep breath in here. Really tuning into that center. As you're feeling in, as you're breathing, I invite us to feel into the webs that surround us here in this space, and how these webs connect to our center. You may open your eyes whenever you're ready. I invite you to gently come back into this space. I'm going to be doing a 3-card tarot reading. And instead of reading the meaning behind the card, or sharing the meaning behind the card, I'm going to share a story from my life. And I'll start here. The first card is the Speaker of Trees. And I'm using Rachel Pollock's tarot deck, and she passed away this year, and this is in honor of her. So one of my fondest memories I have as a child is on the weekends, my dad would wake us up early, and he would take us out to go looking for cans in the trash. We would always go to the really affluent neighborhoods because we knew they just loved to throw away a lot of cans. And so I would get so excited on the weekends knowing, oh my gosh, we're gonna go out, we're gonna go get some cans, and I would always wanna hold the bag. And I was always so excited because I knew that we were gonna go to McDonald's after work and I was gonna get a Happy Meal, and if I was lucky, I would get an ice cream too. My dad taught me that alchemy is real. For the second card, we get the Ace of Rivers. So a few years ago, I had a friend named Eliza Swan, who goes by the name of Emerald now. They told me about this event that happens up in Northern California called Bohemian Grove. Well, actually, it's called the Cremation of Care. And she invited me to be a part of the Resurrection of Care, and she shared with me that the Cremation of Care is an event that takes place and a body is burned in Bohemian Grove. It happens usually once a year. It's a lot of politicians and bankers who hang out there, and they destroy care because the quicker you destroy care, the more money you make. And so Eliza invited me to be an officiant for the Resurrection of Care. And I've had the honor of being an officiant for the last few years. We have performed the resurrection at the Echo Park Lake, at an apartment complex in Koreatown, at Ernest E. Debs Park, and online during the pandemic, we did a version on YouTube. And I remember when she told me, I was like, is that real? Does that really happen? And what was so strange was that evening, I hung out with my partner and his friend, and they were like, what'd you do today? And I just shared with them what had happened. And that friend looked at me and said, oh yeah, I grew up in that area, and everybody knows that they do some really fucked up things there. For the third card, we get the World. Or also known as Shining Woman in this deck. So I used to live in Portland, Oregon, and I was studying to become a clinical mental health counselor. And part of that training, I had to intern at a counseling clinic. And so I was interning at this place called the Meta Counseling Clinic. And that stands for Mindful Experiential Therapy Approaches. And part of my work was that I had to come up with a workshop or an event or a class that I had to offer. And I was so excited because I was learning about interpersonal neurobiology. And I was like, I want to create a workshop called The Brain, Body, and Being in Relationship. And when I presented this to her, I was so excited, and I was like, I'm bringing together neurobiology, metaphysics, somatics, quantum theory. And she just looked at me and she said, that's a lot, Edgar. Who's gonna be into that? It's just so convoluted. And I felt so deflated. I thought it was a good idea. And after I felt deflated, I felt the anger rush up in me. And I said, it is a good idea. I know it's a good idea. And so after that meeting, I left and I went and I talked to every single person I could talk to about this group. I went and visited classrooms. I put up posters all over the place. And at the next meeting I had with Donna Roy, my clinical supervisor, she said, Edgar, I want to apologize to you. Because not only did your workshop sell out, we had to make more room for people to come in. And on top of that, your workshop paid our rent this month. And she said, I am so sorry for not believing in you and your vision. And I looked at her and I said, Donna, thank you for getting me angry. Because you helped me believe in my vision. You helped me get so mad that I made it come to life. And I will never forget how she smiled at me after I said that.